So, in the spirit of Trump's Tuesday teachings, I'm going to go over the arena picks a bit more. 1 health isn't good because there are classes that deal 1 damage, so this often doesn't do enough. The questing adventure isn't generally good in the slow priest deck. They tend to be more controlling. So this card, even though it's a 2 mana 2/3, which I generally don't like, it has a slight bonus. It's good enough. Holy Nova is fantastic. Slightly more expensive Consecrate, but in Arena you can sometimes actually make use of the Restore Health. Ambush Inventor is the second best. Voodoo Doctor is the 1 health garbage guy. Divine Spirit doesn't do enough typically. Acolyte of Pain is has some synergy in a priest deck because you can heal it, but I think still not enough. The Mind Control isn't that great, but I will take it. I will aim not to take another one, but if another one comes up with mediocre picks, I'll still take it. Shadow Word Pain can kill quite a lot of good targets in Arena. There's a lot of 3/5s and 3/6s around, so it's pretty good. Worgen Infiltrator is also very good. Fairy Dragon versus Holy Smite. This is a close pick, but I'm going to go with the Fairy Dragon. It manages to deal 3 damage. It's important to get 2 mana minions when you're a priest. It's really close. I'll choose Ogre versus Smite. Ogre is especially good in Priest because of the high health value. Heal that up, stays around forever. These 2 cards don't do enough. The stats are bad. Emperor Cobra is good. Northshire Cleric beats out Stranglethorn Tiger, I'd say, although it is also close. I've over time figured out that card draw is really good, and so far I have none. Plus I have a Holy Nova which boosts Northshire Cleric a bit. Worth mentioning that you should not play Northshire Cleric on turn 1 usually. The Raging Worgen is good if you have Powered Shield. I currently don't, so I have no way to really abuse the Raging Worgen. So I'm going to choose the Fairy Dragon, especially since priests really like 2-drops, since their hero ability does nothing. Shadow Madness is one of my favorite cards in Hearthstone. 4 mana, 2-for-1, affecting the board is quite good. Plus it can sometimes 3-for-1 in rare situations. Even better than Defender Vargas, which is not that good anymore, but it's still really good. It's just not superb. Take the Infiltrator, even though it's got the 1 health problem. The fact that it has stealth means it can't be targeted by hero abilities, which makes it an excellent card. Beats out the other ones. 2 mana, I want to get 3/2 in stats. Temple Enforcer is really good. 6 mana for 6/9 of stats when a 6/7 is the average. Well, that's above average, so 6/6 is the average. This is even better. Their pick over the other garbage cards. In this pick, Berserker and Warrior are fairly close to each other. The Ghoul is a support card which tend to not be able to fit in Priest. So the pros of the Bluegill Warrior are that it's removal and it's a 2-drop. I do have 4 picks already, not counting the Pain and the Cleric, although the Pain can be sort of counted. And in Priest, I'm looking for somewhere between 7 to 9. Given that it's 12 picks already, it looks like I'm already ahead of schedule, so the Bluegill Warrior is slightly less good. The Berserker is really tough, especially since he can heal it, and this card is especially good in a Priest deck and a Mage deck since he can naturally attack it. Holy Nova is yet again very good, so I'll take that. This is a rather weak pick. The Warden is slightly better in a Priest deck due to the ability to heal the big amount of health. I am actually going to consult my list for a moment. I'm pretty sure I have Priestess of Elune significantly above. Well, actually, the Ironforge Rifleman is not out of the question either. I have Rifleman as number 53, Priestess of Elune is number 55, and of course that guy is all the way down at 69, the Mogish. I'm gonna go ahead and follow the list and go with Rifleman. I don't have many 3s, I have a few 6s, and this card really sucks even though I'm a Priest, and Priest is pretty much the best deck to put that in. Yeti is fantastic, my number 1 common pick. This one's pretty good too, but it's a Yeti. Another Fairy Dragon. So halfway through, I've got 1, 3, 4, 5. I'm slightly ahead of the curve of getting 2s, but this is a pretty good 2. Fen Creeper isn't out of the question, better since I'm a Priest and it's got high health, but I'll take the Fairy anyways. Champion beats out these 2 cards which don't do enough. Temple Enforcer defeats the Light Spawn. It's just so efficient. Shadow Form's pretty fun. This one's actually close between Shadow Form and Faceless Manipulator. The Faceless Manipulator has some good targets here. We've got the Ogre, the Berserker, Even a 6/6 is good, and the Stormwind Champion is especially good. And there's always the opponent's minions as well. The Shadow form, though, that one's really fun. I'm gonna choose Faceless, but I think this is very close. I'm actually really tempted to take Shadow form. I don't have very many 3s. This one isn't usually a 3 I play on 3. And Shadow form is a card I can play. And since it's close and Shadow form is the slightly more entertaining card, it's not something I really put any value in, but might be worth mentioning. I'm gonna go Shadow form. I actually think it's slightly better. This card is bad since it's 3 mana for 1 health. The Boar is bad. The Circle of Healing is possibly comboable with a Cleric and could possibly heal things. And it's a spell, and it's a free option somewhere. Though I am tempted to take the Magma Rager. This card is basically real bad against 3 of the classes, which can deal 1 damage, and Paladin, they get lots of 1/1s. But against the other classes, it's actually pretty good. The Circle of Healing is just so very situational, and I don't really have enough to abuse it. If I had like another Northshire Cleric, I might consider it. I'm gonna take the Magma Rager. Flesh-Eating Ghoul over these two. I don't have very many 3s. The Magma Rager is bad. The Nightblade is not in the direction of aggression that I'm going. Not very good picks there. Shadow Word Death is an excellent pick. 3 mana, deal with a big guy. Mind Vision isn't bad. This card's terrible. And a Priest deck. Lightspawn, very happy to see it since I'm low on the 4 drops. And this card is an excellent 4 drop, especially if the double Temple Enforcer. Shadow Word Pain, I'm going to say is slightly better than Smite in this case. Loot Order is also up there, but I will take Shadow Word Pain. This one's close, so I've got 1, 4, 6, 7 early game drops now, which is on the low side of Priest, but I do have 4 picks left, and I'm low on 4s, and this is a card drawing excellent 4, so I'm going to pick it over the Bomber. This is rather close though. Oh, how exciting. So according to my Legendaries list, I've got Harrison Jones above Deathwing, above Alexstrasza. I don't have many 5s, and I have no oozes. I also already have a 10, and I've got fairly significant late game, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. I think Harrison Jones is the best pick. That's probably not going to be the one most people vote for, but this is amazing when it hits a weapon, and when it doesn't hit a weapon, it's still a 5/4, and I don't have many cards in the 5 slot. Holy Smite is good to cover the early game, of which I have 7 cards so far. Getting to the 8 and 9 category I wouldn't mind. Looks like I have the late game covered. Another Holy Nova. That's good. Maybe better is the Ogre. Ooh, this one's close. The Ogre is top in a Priest deck, but Holy Nova is also quite good. 1 pick to go, and it's Rare Plus. We've got Yeti, Lightspawn, Berserker, Ogre, 2 Temple Enforcers. I think I have enough big stuff. I'm going to choose the Holy Nova. And final card. Can either go with Defender of Argus or Wild Pyromancer. Both cards would be excellent in this deck. Well, actually, would the Wild Pyro actually be so good? I have 1, 3, 4, 5... Not that many spells. 8. And I've got enough for early game. Yeah, Defender of Argus, especially since I have the low 4 slot. That one's actually not very close. Okay, this deck's really good. So the reason why I call it good is it's in the early game. I have 1, 4, 6, 7, 8 cards on the early game, not counting the Cleric, including the Shadow Word Pains, which is important for Priests because their hero ability does nothing, and they're fairly good. The Fairy Dragon can really mess with some people. On 3, it's somewhat weak choices. Rifleman, Rager, Ghoul. Ideally on 3, I'm Shadow Forming or Cobraing. On 4, I've got some really good cards. Yeti, Inventor, Lightspawn, Madness. On 5, I've got the Area of Effect to catch up in case I fell behind in the early game. And then 6+, I've got some really good cards. The Ogre, Enforcer as Champion, and the Mind Control. I think this deck is above average. I will say it can go 10 wins. What would put it over the top is more Power Word Shields, which is a really, really good card. Actually, I'm going... 10 wins seems light on this one. I can't think of many ways this could go better. It's just, I'm comparing it with the last deck, which went 12-0, and this deck is worse than the last deck, but the last deck was insane. I'm actually going to say this deck goes 12 wins.
You asked for it.
The light shall bring victory.
Seems like I'm getting some questions about Harrison Jones over Alexstrasza and Deathwing. The main reason is pretty simple. I didn't have many cards in the 5 slot. I don't have any oozes. Harrison Jones, if it kills a 1 durability weapon, is an extremely strong card. And even if it doesn't, it's a 5 mana 5/4. I don't have very many 5 mana cards, so it was fine. The Deathwing / Alexstrasza, I have enough late game in this deck. What I needed was a 5 mana card, and that's a good 5 mana card. Oh, that card's terrible. That's expensive to deal with a 1 mana card, but the card's scary, especially since he has the coin. I'm pretty hesitant to play the Magma Rager on 3. I might consider holding on to it until 9 for the Enforcer Magma Rager combo. The benefit of playing the Magma Rager is it will probably slow him down with a Fire Blast this turn, but I'm just going to let it slide. This is of course the worst case scenario for a Magma Rager when you're up against a mage. So in this scenario, Harrison Jones is clearly superior to Alexstrasza and Deathwing, although of course I'm getting slightly unlucky with the heavy cards I'm drawing.
You call that a weapon?
You belong in a museum.
That belongs in a museum.
Of course, the 5 mana for 5/4 is below average, but it's something.
Someday I'll be just like you.
This is a really tough spot because he's put out a secret which I have to assume to be Mirror Entity. That's good. If I play the Magma Rager and it's a Mirror Entity, I'll actually be facing some pain. If I play the Flesh Eating Ghoul, I cannot kill it with Holy Nova. If I play the Flesh Eating Ghoul after playing this, blah. I can't play Ogre because if it's Mirror Entity I lose. So I'll play this and then I'll heal myself and yeah. Pretty painful. Oh my gosh. Fortunately those are still within range. The Murloc Dream.
May my ancestors watch over me.
I'll go Ogre here. I'm in Fireball range now. Can either heal myself or kill something which would do 2 anyways. Actually, I should kill this since it's not tauntable. But, yeah, I should. It's dealing more damage to me.
Well played.
Too bad.
Well played.
Leaves a message with all due respect. Screw the cookies. Brownies is where it's
The
at.
light shall bring
Well,
victory.
you know, brownies are pretty good too. I can respect that. That game, I played against a competent opponent in win 1, which is on the rare side, and the draw was slower than average, so I still have confidence in this deck.
Wanna blow something up?
Hurt a little. Shadow Form on turn 3 is going to be pretty slow here. On turn 4 I have nothing. So I should probably aim to play Shadow Form on turn 5, which means right now I should play the worst card that I can play, which will beat that, which I believe is the Flesh Eating Ghoul. On turn 4 I am likely to play the Cobra unless he gives me a really good reason to play Rifleman. It's not bad of a reason.
Locked and loaded.
Strong card there. I will play the Cobra against the Yeti. That'll be a good trade up if I manage to get that to work. And as it turns out, it looks like Shadow Form would in fact have been far too slow a play. If this Cobra gets removed, it'll suck a little, but I've got Ogre to follow up on the Yeti. If the Ogre gets removed, it's gonna be pretty tough.
Wanna blow something up?
This next turn, though, I can catch up if that's all he has on turn 5.
My eyes are open.
Reasonable. Ooh. Get some extra value out of the Cobra here. I can kill either of these. I'll kill this one. The reason why not to hit the Yeti is because this would go down to 1 health, which would be fire blastable. A lot of aggression early here. Feeling a bit pressured, so I think I'm going to go for this play. This will push me out of fireball range, and I think at this point I need to not be in Shadow Form. If I go Shadow Form, then I'll lose to Fireball. Plus this gets it into Fairy Dragon range, this card. I'm on the verge of stabilizing, but also on the verge of defeat. Good thing only Nova hit. To go Shadow Form right now, that's really hard. So there are 2 major plays to make here. One is Shadow Form Blast, and I get to heal first. I would probably heal this up to a 6/4, or heal myself. The other play is to play Ogre, heal myself. Given that I have more late game, I'm going to go for the safer play of retaining my ability to heal myself against the mage.
What to do?
It's time for a little blood.
He would have done better by fire blasting the Berserker there, since I am obligated to attack his minions at every turn right now. This pushes this card out of Flame Strike range. And it looks like I might have stabilized, but stabilizing against a mage is always a questionable proposition. The next turn, Pyroblast does in fact kill me if he has it. We can only hope he doesn't. Probably better for me to trade this way across. We have both of these guys have slightly higher health, as opposed to a 5-2 split, which still dies to Flame Strike Fireblast. Moment of truth. Ugh.
Well played.
Played well. He leaves a message of, I as a German want to apologize
Shall bring
for the
victory.
bad manners of ECOP. Next time, his Tink Masters won't scroll you 2 times. Well, we can only hope so. I'll keep the Rifleman against a Paladin that's likely to hit. Rip the people who are also 0 and 2, which get matched up against this deck. Alright, as the deck that can heal myself, I'm going to go for him and count for him to trade. In addition, I top decked Flesh Eating Ghoul, which means if he chooses to go for my face, I can play the Ghoul and trade. Also, I have the Holy Smite, which is a good answer to his card, should he choose not to trade. Oh man, where's my Harrison Jones? There's a time to trade and there's a time not to trade, and not trading there ended up better for me. Got an extra 3 damage through, and then at the cost of 3 damage, but I get a 4/3 Ghoul.
For the king!
Alright, Smite. Probably go Shadow. Oh my gosh, here's the Harrison. Much excitement. Does mean that I won't be making use of the Shadow form this turn, but much excitement. Your Sword of Justice belongs in a museum.
That belongs in a museum. Job done.
Well played.
Thank you.
I can finish off the Gurubashi with the Ironforge Rifleman plus the Shadow form. If he didn't attack, I could have Shadow Word Pain for massive value. Unfortunately, massive value was not had. But this is still good.
Let me think. I've got a huge reporting for duty.
Some people might be itching to play Holy Nova here, but the only thing Holy Nova kills in addition to what is already being killed is 2/1/1s, and that's not worth it. One of my rules of Hearthstone is try to do the most you can with the least possible. Blessing Wisdom on the Gurubashi Berserker. That's pretty much going to stop it. But I will put Ton on it, which means he'll have to attack into it. Oh, that is really annoying since he just pushed that out of Shadow Word Pain range. I'm probably going to have to Holy Nova first, and then Shadow Word Pain. Or no, of course not. Just kill this. And to be mana efficient, I'll play the Yeti. Gotta be patient with the Berserker, it's not worth killing one of these guys for the additional card that I give him. My opponents at 0 wins have been surprisingly good.
Reporting for duty.
The Frost Wolves stand ready.
Alright, I have no way of dealing with the Frostal Warlord yet. Actually I do. I can send this at it, Holy Nova, and do that. Alternative play is to do this. Actually, Cobra, Sun Fury Protector. That's 5 mana, which means I have 4 mana left, which is just this. The theory will be...
Shields up!
I'll go ahead and quote-unquote Fire Blast this to do more damage to this if it chooses to attack here. Take out this guy, which means that he can't do 3 damage with his 3 recruits into this Cobra. So if he attacks the Warlord into the Berserker, then he'll take 5 damage. If he attacks this into this, then it'll die. He can't kill this with this. So that's the perfect way to set it up. Of course, who knows what his hand may adjust, but it looks good.
I'll put it on your head.
Alright, knowing he has a Frostwolf Warlord, I certainly must clear his board now.
Reporting for duty.
Probably Holy Nova plus send this guy in. No, actually, of course I just use the hero ability. It's way better.
Well played.
In the spirit of Trump's Tuesday teachings, I will remind the chat that I chose not to attack with the Berserker because it would give him a card, which at the time was not worth it.
Reporting for duty.
Alright, Defender of Argus will buff this in such a way that it can trade there. And then I'll want to kill this as well. Probably also want to play the light spawn. Which will probably be better off with the Defender of Argus.
My shield for Argus!
What we do. The Frost Wolves stand ready.
Let's see, if this takes 2, that will go down to 4 and then 7, and that'll be enough.
Into the breach!
With any
Well played.
For Doomhammer.
The light shall bring victory.
So this hand can go 2 and then 3 and then 4, but the Defender of Argus is unlikely to actually hit more than just 1. It'll probably be better used later. Did get rid of quite a few cards, but I don't see a 4 mana 2/3 plus 1 as being that great. That's a better card.
Greetings.
It's time for a little blood.
That's an even better 4. Though I won the last game, I agree that the Enforcer was the better play. And just because you won doesn't mean you made the right play, certainly.
Do you need a blessing?
Huge fallacy. I'm going to have to attack this, the sad fact of playing a class that can't deal 1 damage. He's put that out of range. Young Priestess turns out to be really good against classes that can't deal 1 damage. Choose not to play the Fairy Dragon since he kills it for free. Instead, I will be playing either the Light Spawn or the Chillwind Yeti next turn. Probably Chillwind Yeti, since it's more secure against a Berserker. There are less bad things that can happen to the Yeti than can happen to the Light Spawn in this particular exchange, especially since all I need is 4 attack. The 5 attack would be wasted. Alright, Lumish Inventor is unplayable because he has the Amani Berserker out. The Flesh Eating Ghoul only becomes a 3/3, which is not quite good enough. So I'll go Light Spawn. Next turn I can play Temple Enforcer and a Light Spawn, make it an 8/8, have it be monstrous. Darn, he had the Earthshock. To answer the question, why didn't I give taunt to only the Cobra the last game, it's because I wasn't planning on attacking with the Berserker, since I had Blessing of Wisdom on it. So that's why I put taunt on it. Made it something he had to deal with. Alright, this Bloodfen Raptor. I should heal my Chillwind Yeti after it attacks this because it'll be at 3, which is in range of the Bloodfen Raptor, so I have 4 mana available. I'll play the Gnomish Inventor, it doesn't die to any single thing. Which means I should play it first since drawing a card and getting information is good, although in this case it is never going to matter since the turn is planned. But a lot of times it does matter, especially later when you have more mana. Shadow Madness promises to be somewhat... could. Especially since he's got a target. Alright, how can I deal with a 6/5? Looks unlikely at the moment. There are 2 main plays to make here. One is Shadow Form, start picking at this, and then with the remaining 2 mana, play a Fairy Dragon. This almost ensures the Fire Elemental's demise next turn. The other play is the Fairy Dragon, Flesh Eating Ghoul play, which is going to be significantly worse against Lightning Storm, but otherwise is the better play. Nice. So, the opponent having a Harvest Golem is part of the dream of the Shadow Madness 3-for-1. Slightly out of order with the Fire Elemental. In fact, by attacking after the buff, he has allowed me to accomplish the dream. Does spawn the damage golem on your side, which ends up being very nice. I'll heal this to put it out of the 3 range that the shamans can do very often. Shadow goodness. The card's really big. I don't have a solution to it right now, but I will soon. Well, quote unquote soon. I should give this the plus health so that it gets out of range of the Stormforged Axe. Can't deal with the War Golem now, so no point to worry about it, and heal myself with remaining mana. Choose not to play Northshire Cleric because I would rather play Northshire Cleric on a turn where I can guaranteed draw quite a few cards, especially since I have Holy Nova. It's a nice benefit actually that the Light Spawn has 1 damage on it, since when I Holy Nova I'll draw an extra card.
Give me a quest.
A play that wouldn't have been outrageous is to play Northshire Cleric and heal the Light Spawn instead of killing myself. That would not have been bad. That's pretty good. Killed a 2/4 with the first shot. This questing adventure is scary enough that I feel like I need to deal with it. I can do that with Holy Nova Shadow Form and hitting it. But the problem is then I fall behind on fighting the War Golem. So it feels pretty essential that I play either the Ogre or the Temple Enforcer. The Temple Enforcer is better since this being at 7 health will mean it can't get questing adventurer killed most likely. This is probably the turn to Northshire Cleric and heal this. I've got 11 here. Assume he's got 3. That's 14, 15, 16 if he plays the second card in his hand, which is very likely. So I'm almost dead. Might be dead. So 6, 7, 9. The big question is whether or not I want to try to... No, not yet. I'll get it with the Holy Nova.
Quickly.
So I will play this after all. I'm so low that if he decides to spend some damage attacking the Cleric, I'm okay with it now. And I'm low enough that I'd rather not draw the card yet.
Tazdingo!
Your magic shall not save you.
Pretty scary board. Best I'm going to be able to do here is 7, 14, 20, 25. So if I take out the... I still have possibilities. It's not over yet, though the music is slowing. I'll need to cast Shadow Form and do the damage. And this is pretty much the best thing I can kill.
Right away. Oh.
What I'm really digging for would probably be Shadow Word Death. The opponents I faced were unusually strong at the lower levels.
Tazdingo!
It'll actually delay the inevitable.
My shield for Argon.
What to do?
It's actually not over. If I draw one of the Holy Novas in my deck. Huh, that's also not bad. I mean, that's not great, but it's not bad. If he Congo lines this correctly, I'll be at 1.
Join
Oh
or die.
man, that's not good.
Just me and Mr. Bitey.
With the Holy Nova top deck, I'm still in it. And I definitely need to kill this. Unfortunately for me, pretty much no matter what he plays will kill me.
Played.
Alright.
Well played.
Well, needless to say, that is an extremely disappointing result from this deck.